Hey friends and welcome. My name is Dr. Heather Carden and welcome to Ask Dr. Heather. On this page here, this is a page where you actually can ask questions that you have about current or maybe past healthcare topics, and I want to help get those questions answered to you. I actually started this page well over a decade ago when people would come into my clinic, maybe wanting questions about headache, but then it would kind of fumble into more questions about what about this, what about that. They bring in magazine articles, they bring in credit news articles and say, well, what about this? What about this? Could you answer that? Or how do you make this? How do you make that? And that was long before we actually had the computer and before we had Instagram and some of these other things. So my job here today is actually just to help answer some of those questions. So I am here in Overland Park, Kansas. Let us know where you are coming from. I want to say hi to Tony and Tina. I generally try not to say hi to people because I miss people, and like, you didn't say hi to me, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to say hi to the first two people that jump on. So hello Tony and hello Tina. Thanks for joining us. And again, let us know where you're joining us from. We're going to talk about allergies today because here in the Midwest, if you can't tell from my hair, it is humid, humid, humid. Our kiddos are back to school. People are congested. They are sniffling up. You can see the mold is flying around. So what do you do about that? What are some natural remedies you can do to control that? Because we definitely cannot control which way the wind blows for sure. And we start having weather things like Dorian. Yes, it absolutely affects everybody around the globe. It's not just one central area. It actually affects everybody, the way the wind blows, the way the barometric pressure goes. So what do we do about that? There are a lot of things naturally you can do. And if you're a person that says, you know what, it's my time of year, I have allergies this time of year and they seem to get worse every year, there's things we can do. We want to increase your immune system and we want to de-allergy sensitize your home, so to speak. And I do have several YouTube videos on that, but we're just going to talk about number one. The first thing is bedding. You spend half your life laying in bed, so we know that we shed things like dust mites and skin actually comes off right. Our hair actually breaks off and stuff while we're sleeping, and our spouse's hair. And if you have animals in your bed, that can happen as well. And know that, you know, how old is your mattress? People say you can weigh your mattress. It will actually tell you how old your mattress is. So think about that. We have critters in our bed that actually feed off of that. And we also know that if you are not a nose breather, you're also not getting what you need, which is nitric oxide, to actually boost your immune system. So think about that. You don't have to share it on here, but if you know that your pillow is more than a year old, throw that thing out. I actually advise my patients, and yes, I am a chiropractor. I want people to have good spinal alignment. Every month, especially for kiddos, get a new pillow because they're drooling, they're getting new teeth, or if you have allergy stuff and you're sniffling and you're a mouth breather and maybe you have makeup and your eyes drool and your nose drools and mucus, all that kind of stuff, get rid of the pillow once a month. It collects things. Super easy. Buy the economical ones, or you can buy allergy covers. Buy it in bulk. You can buy in Amazon, furniture stores. I think the big box stores have them as well. Super economical and go a very long way rather than putting toxic allergens, pharmaceuticals into your body. Try getting a new pillow cover. You spend half your life there, and get an allergy cover for your mattress. Also flipping it around. Yes, putting your feet where your head was, your head where your feet were, can actually help as well. So make sure that's happening as well. If you have a humidifier in your bedroom, make sure that you have a clean filter in there. It's not moldy. Also, it seems funny opening up the windows. I fight with some patients, like, we've got to close the windows and keep the house closed. No, you actually want to let the air open. You want to get the air out and moving so you circulate some of the bad air out. So Tony's asking once a month. Yeah, Tony, I would say if you don't have any allergy symptoms, I think once every month or 2 months is going to be fine for a pillow. But if you're somebody who during the allergy season you have issues, maybe one pillow once a month, but get those allergy covers that you can either buy or just clean once a week, just to make sure you're getting all that stuff off. So clean bedding is definitely going to make a huge difference. And you know we're going to talk about food, right? I tell patients all the time, you can't control which way the mold blows or which way the wind blows, but you can control the moldy food that you put in your mouth. And really what sparked this conversation is I was going to talk about candida albicans. I have gotten probably 200 or 300 messages in my inbox, talk about candida, talk about this, and Epstein-Barr, talk about this. But what happened is in the clinic this week, all my questions were about allergies and back to schools, and kids are sniffling, and what can I give them? If I give them something over the counter, they're gonna fall asleep, or I can't give them something for prescription, or they can't, maybe play sports this weekend. It's football open header, soccer open header, other things. What can we give our kids naturally? And there are a lot of natural things you can do, but first start by like nutty pot, like cleaning out your sinuses, right? You're can also get a brand new toothbrush, because think about that, our teeth are related to our sinuses. Whether your kids are 5 or 15, we're getting new molars, getting new teeth. Make sure you're getting that all cleaned off. If you have female daughters that are wearing makeup, make sure they get that all cleaned off as well. You can also ear candle, but know that I am probably going to do a private Zoom on yeast, because I've got so many questions about that. I know there's probably a lot of males that don't want to talk about bacterial vaginosis or yeast issues, but it does affect men as well. But there is a huge connection between Epstein-Barr and candida albicans and chronic fatigue syndrome. But I want to hone in on allergies today. So change the bedding, change the toothbrush, either boil the toothbrush, just get a new one, or put it in the dishwasher. Will help immensely. Make sure that you're not using the same glass drink out of day after day after day. And now the food. So let's talk about moldy food. If you know that, hey, mold is my allergy, think about what vinegar is. Vinegar is moldy. Think about kombucha. Think about sauerkraut. All vinegars in things like ketchup and mustard and salad dressing, those are all vinegars. They're all been fermented. And then think about, well, it's football season. Think about alcohol. It's all fermented. So if you know that just the slightest bit of mold in the air actually stimulates some allergy stuff, and now you're drinking and putting in moldy stuff into your body, and let's not even talk about alcohol, but you're putting vinegars, the kids are eating ketchup, or they're eating bread that actually have yeast in them, which is mold, or they're putting cheese on top of their burger or chicken or whatever, and that's mold. That's also amplifying how much mold you're putting in their body. So what I simply say is, you cannot control which way the wind blows the mold, but you can control the amount of mold that you're putting into your body. Yes, and even things like mushrooms are moldy, and you can just simply look online. You can look up moldy foods or candida foods. You're going to find a little bit of variance when it comes to talk about apple cider vinegar and things like that. I generally say, if in doubt, keep it out, and just really keep that down low. We also know that sugar feeds yeast. So this time of year, I know kids are getting lots of treats at the elementary and middle school age, especially like now the Gatorade's coming out at the high school age, lots of those sugary drinks. I would generally say, as a parent of 4 boys, they did play sports, you're going to have to make some sort of deal with them. I actually am going to say it honestly, I would actually buy back the Gatorades or the sugary stuff that my kids would get, or I exchange them for movie tickets or for screen time, things like that, because they don't want to give it up for nothing and then all their friends are drinking that. Or I tell them just to be the leader of the pack, be the silent giant leader that says, you know what, I'm going to drink water. Water cleanses my body. It's the most important thing I can do. And with that being said, we know there's an enormous amount of athletes in the high school area of ages all over the area, not just in Kansas City, that we're seeing having coronary events. So make sure that your kiddos are drinking enough water, they're getting some sea salt. And with that being said, sea salt also helps thin mucus. If you're somebody who ever put salt on a slug, I did that. You guys might think I'm crazy, but you put salt on the slug or on mucus that actually help thin that out. So you start talking about sinuses, things like gargling with salt water, doing some saline rinsing, that will also help thin out mucus. It's very, very free to do. Helps again if there's a mold allergy, and gargling with salt water. Again, just a little bit of salt and some water will do a great deal. Also, if you're starting to have some eczema issues or you're having more of a systemic mold issue, have an Epsom salt bath will also help equalize the body's pH, and also help get rid of some excess mold or candida going on. If you guys are jumping on now, let us know where you're coming from. No, this is absolutely meant to be shared. If you have some specific allergies about your demographic and allergies going on in your area, please just let us know, drop them down below. But I wanted to be just super prompt and quick today, and I hope you understand just some very easy things you can do to help control allergies and mold in your area where you live. So we talked about number 1, you spend over half your life in bed. Change the pillows, change the sheets, maybe even get rid of the pillows, get the toothbrush up and done and cleaned out if you haven't done that for a while. Also make sure that you're actually using some type of sinus rinsing if you're not doing that. And then again, get rid of the sugary drinks. And we all know that sugar is super addictive. If I'm drinking water, it means I need to slow down or my ketone levels are high. So with that being said, we started talking about sugary drinks and the Gatorades and the soda and the back to school nights. And then I know the group and sports back to school nights and the ice cream feeds going on, all those type of things. And sometimes it's hard to say, well, my kid's been sick. He's not sick. He just has allergies. So I know I want to repurpose that, because people say, my kid's not sick, he just has allergies. Well, as a physician, we're going to say the immune system's weakened because not everyone's having those symptoms of allergies. But they also don't want to be excluded if everyone else is having the ice cream or having the soda or having whatever they're having I'm reading Tony's message here, whatever it is they're having, but you want to make sure they don't feel left out. That's where you can have amazing different things. Maybe you want to have some Pro-Sobe water that doesn't have any sugar in it. Maybe you want to bring something from home in their own shaker bottle. Some maybe have a protein drink that they drink at home. You know what my kids do, and they love it. I'm going to tell you what, they love the ketones. They love how it makes them feel. They love what it does for their performance. Comes in lots of different flavors. Again, they are proud of what they drink because they know that they're not having soda, because athletes don't drink soda, and they know that they don't like to do food colorings and things like that. So our kids do try to lead from the front of being 4 young men that know that it's great not to be ordinary but to be extraordinary. I want to say that pretty proud as a mom there, but know that this is a little bit of a pressure time here. We talk about all these back to school, feeds, like they have the football feeds and the soccer ones for the boys and the girls and the volleyball and all these type of just meal cookouts where everyone's bringing all of this type of sugary treats. I would just really challenge you to bring something else. Bring a vegetable tray or bring something on the side, or if it's hamburgers and hot dogs, that's a great deal. Just have your kiddos leave off the buns or leave off the condiments, and because ketchup's got a ton of sugar on it, barbecue sauce has a ton of sugar on it, but you can eat a slab of ribs and be totally fine. I don't know who wouldn't want a slab of ribs. Or you could have, a brat, just don't have the sauerkraut on the side. That'll also help because those are moldy foods. So just knowing that there's easy, simple things that you can do to eliminate not putting those moldy foods, those sugary foods, because sugar feeds inflammation, which feeds those moldy allergies. That's going to actually help you stay ahead of that summer, fall, winter, whatever time is your moldy spring allergy season. I know it is fall right now, but people generally say, I have it in the spring and I have it in the fall, a little bit in the winter. Having your house nice and open right now is definitely going to help get some fans, getting stuff moving. Even just getting the carpets cleaned will help get some of that stuff out. But it's very common, and people say it's a back to school time. Some of that's because the kids are used to being outside, running around, riding their bikes, cars open, whatever age your kids are or adults are. We're used to being outside where it's nice and open, and then we go back into school or work buildings, everything's combined. We're not getting that circulation of the air being diluted where that mold is in. And then again, just make sure that, as my last thing is, make sure that if you do go into a new environment, that there is clean circulation through there. Because I've had this happen where someone takes a new job and they start doing a little bit more investigation. They find out that their new workplace does have a mold issue, like a true black mold issue, whether it's around the sink area, underneath the sink, whether it's in the HVAC room. Just make sure you do a little investigation there. But today is about just helping your body be the best version of itself and not putting more contaminations into it. Again, if you have a mold allergy, cutting out moldy foods like cheeses are moldy, mushrooms are moldy, vinegars are moldy, alcohols are moldy, and then again, just cleaning up your own bedroom hygiene, your house hygiene. So I'm going to look for a couple questions here. So Mike says, I've noticed that my allergies are much better now that I'm eating keto. Mike, that is so true. I'm going to put this little disclaimer on there because I've had people say, I went to eat keto on low carb and my allergies got worse. Why did that happen? I cut out all the sugar. What they did, Mike, is, they're not counting on Mike because Mike is from Canada, or Saskatchewan, so just not picking on you, Mike, but they started eating a lot of cheeses and a lot of nuts. And when you buy economical nuts, sometimes they can have a yeast base to them if they're not dry roasted. So just make sure you don't start diving into the cottage cheese, the ricotta cheese, the feta cheese. All those are very, very moldy cheeses, and those actually will increase your allergies, even though you're taking away some of the sugary content to that. So you're right, most of the time when you do an autoimmune friendly ketogenic diet, which is taking away some of the sauerkraut, and make sure you're not doing too much of the kombucha, which is actually very good for your gut if you don't have a mold or allergy or candida issue, which we're going to get to here. I'll actually make a banner post because we're going to do a private Zoom on candida and Epstein-Barr, because I've just got such a huge list of people wanting to talk about that, and that's the best way for me to make sure I get those questions targeted. So Terry's saying there's a vinegar foot soak that takes up. Yeah, Terry, we have, or Tony, we have that in our office. We can't even keep that. We use boxes and boxes every single month. So Mike, thanks for sharing that, and hello to everybody who is jumping on. So again, little shifts, inch by inch is a cinch. So little tiny shifts, just getting a new pillow can make a huge difference for how your allergies and how you sleep at night. And doing little things like saline rinses throughout your nose can help. Even buying little baby nose sprays can actually help as well. Get that breathing much better, which can make you sleep deeper. And then you're going to wake up feeling much more refreshed. And again, if you're having trouble, we know sugar feeds yeast all day long. If you're having trouble with sugar, what we've used in the past in our office to help people combat sugar is doing things like acupuncture. Now we're doing doing things like using exogenous ketones. I have people brush their teeth more often, or use things like putting a piece of fresh mint inside their water, which will also help it, or making sure water's in front of you, have an accountability partner. All those things can help. But I am done for today. I want to keep you guys short and sweet on this Friday evening. My name is Dr. Heather Carden, and you are on Ask Dr. Heather. So there's no questions that is not too good to ask, because whatever you're thinking about, I'm sure there's somebody else that has the exact same question you have. So if I didn't answer your question, I will pop back on and try to do that. Let us know where you're coming from. Joe, where are you coming from? I always like to listen to Joe. He's got an amazing personality. So Joe and I ought to do some type of Facebook Live together, because he is one crazy, passionate dude that has a lot to share and offer. So thanks again for joining me. Let me know where you're coming from. And if you've missed some topics, I have a lot of these actually on my YouTube channel, which is Ask Dr. Heather. It's totally free. And also, great news, guys, my blog is back up. So my 1,000+ recipes that are all gluten-free, 99% are dairy-free, they are soy-free, mushroom-free. They are not vegan-free because we do eat carnivore, but there's some vegan recipes in there that you can switch. Just use cashew cheese on them instead of, actually everything is pretty much dairy-free. Anyway, all gluten-free. Most of them are low-carb, paleo/keto. Some great research there and past articles as well. AskDrHeather.net. You can actually subscribe for free and download your guide to start your day in the right way. It's got 4 of my favorite breakfast recipes. One is a vegan vegetarian recipe, and my other one's my waffle recipe. My other one's my quiche breakfast quiche that you can eat any time of the day that most people love. So Tony, just message me on my email, or message me through here, and I'll be getting that list. We're probably going to do it in 2 weeks. My son's coming home from Florida for his birthday, his 25th birthday, so I'll be doing it after that, because we've got some things to get planned. But I will start taking that list. I'll probably just post it also here on that page, Tony. So thanks for asking that, and we'll put a little list there so people can do it. I'll also do an Ask Dr. Heather to get that list rolling, and I'll send that out. So I'll make sure I get you added to that. So that will be more again on Candida albicans, which is one of those things that causes a lot of symptoms. So if you're not familiar with that, fatigue, muscle pains, hormone imbalances, whether you're male or female, headaches, ear problems, ADHD, from the head to the toes, psoriasis, foot fungus, it can cause asthma, allergies, it can cause brain imbalances, brain fog, it can cause cystic asthma, it can cause cystic dermatitis, it can cause acne, it can cause PMS issues, it can cause endometriosis, it can cause infertility. It can cause a lot of imbalances in your body. Think about babies with thrush. That is a Candida albicans issue. Think about dermatomyositis. Think about psoriatic arthritis. That is all Candida albicans. Chronic fatigue. Lots and lots of issues. Anna Marie, got your name. So just message me through the private messenger and send me your email. That way I can just add it to my list, and then I'll just blast it out or shout it out and send it out all at one time. So just put your email out there, though. Don't put it here so everyone has it. Just send me your email and say, add me to the Candida albicans or the yeast. Just the yeast is good enough. What is that book, Tony? I'll take a picture of it. Dr. Crooks, I've had this book since the 1980s. He's a medical doctor. This is the best book ever written on Candida albicans. He also has got 2 or 3 different cookbooks. I'll take a picture and post it down below so you guys can get back to your hot Friday nights and your college football, your homeschool football, your middle school football, your high school soccer. Lots of stuff going on tonight. And you guys have an amazing, amazing weekend. Good night.